Welcome to Breakfast with Mark Daniels for Friday, January 24th, 2020. Weather for Long Island for the weekend looks like we'll be in the mid-40s today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Nighttime lows each day in the mid-30s. There's a really good chance of rain tomorrow. Then Sunday, it should be partly sunny. 'Tis the weekend before the Super Bowl. Speaking of football in the Super Bowl, Giants Super Bowl MVP Eli Manning is retiring after 16 seasons. He led the Giants to 2 Super Bowl victories in 2007 and 2011. They say that he is a great candidate for the Hall of Fame. Manning becomes eligible for that in 5 years. If I say the words wax on, wax off, your head should immediately go to the movie The Karate Kid. Well, The Karate Kid, another one of those big hit movies of the past, is going to a big Broadway musical. The movie starred Long Island native Ralph Macchio, and casting will be announced soon. Hey, listen, if Rocky could do Broadway, The Karate Kid can do Broadway. And I found this in the patch. According to the website homesnacks.net, the top 10 places to live in New York. Out of that top 10, 9 of them were on Long Island. According to the article, these are the top 10, starting at number 1. North Hills, East Hills, Floral Park, Massapequa Park, Malvern, Rockville Center, my hometown, Lawrence, Rye, which is not on Long Island, and the only one that's not, Mineola, and Williston Park. If you're wondering how they came up with that list, well, it was based on census data, FBI statistics, crime rates, median income, home values, etc., etc. Whether your town made it on that list or not, somehow our hometowns are always number 1 with us. There's a sense of pride, familiarity, comfort, and a place that always felt welcoming. I remember vividly, as if it was yesterday, driving home from college during a break, let's say, and coming down the Southern State Parkway to what then was my hometown in Rockville Center. I'll never forget that sensation of being home on Long Island, in a town that I was proud of. A town where I had friends that I knew, and friends who knew me. In a town where I knew that I could get the best Chinese food and the best pizza. And most importantly, the people who surround you. Your family, friends, and neighbors. That's what makes a hometown number 1 with you. I'd love to know what your hometown is and why you think it's so special. I'm sure you could write a million reasons, but you could stick to 3. That'll be fine. You can comment on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. So it's still January, it's still winter, so we tend to be much more of an indoor type of crowd. And with that in mind, we have an event that's guaranteed to get you out of the house. And it's a good one, too. Long Island Restaurant Week kicks off this Sunday, and it runs through Sunday, February 2nd. This event's been around since 2006, and it gives you a chance to try restaurants that maybe you just haven't tried before. It's a $29.95 3-course prefix offered Sunday to Sunday, except Saturday till 7. There's a list about a mile long of restaurants that are participating in Nassau and Suffolk. Just go to longislandrestaurantweek.com for all the details. And manja. Other things to do include a lot of stand-up comedy at a lot of great venues across Long Island. Just go to newsday.com and search stand-up comedy. And on Sunday night, the 62nd Grammy Awards. It'll be on CBS starting at 8 p.m. All the big names will be there, and those big names, most of them getting nominated, including Ed Sheeran, Ariana Grande, Beyoncé, John Legend, Michael Bublé, Jonas Brothers, and Taylor Swift. Again, that's Sunday night, the Grammys on CBS, 8 p.m. And something else notable about this day, today is National Compliment Day. A compliment. It's a great way to brighten somebody's day or give credit for a job well done. You know, when your boss walks in and say, hey, you nailed that project, job well done. Huge compliment, right? Or when your partner says before you go out, you look awesome. That's a good compliment too. So make note of National Compliment Day, where they suggest on this day you make at least one extra compliment to someone. Always makes them feel good. And now recapping yesterday's Throwback Thursday question. And the question was, what happened to all of these entertainers on the same day in 1986? Chuck Berry, James Brown, Ray Charles, Everly Brothers, Buddy Holly, and Elvis. So many people nailed this to my surprise, unless you all use Google, which is fine. Jerry, Diane, Pete, Amy, and Tom all said the right answer is they were all inducted into the first Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thanks for your answers on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So even though it's only January, our daughter graduates high school in June and she's going to the prom. I found out that if you don't have your prom dress yesterday, you're running behind. And so suddenly there's been this prom dress mania in our house. It's driving me nuts.
Why is it driving you nuts?
Well, I remember what we went through with the Sweet 16 dress, and I think you told me that there were 3 dresses that are important to a woman's life. One is her Sweet 16 dress, then her prom dress, and then her wedding dress. So right now, I guess we're at the midpoint.
I guess you can say that.
So you guys went out to look at a prom dress or dresses yesterday, and you guys were gone like for hours. I'm like, dinner's ready. What's going on?
Oh, you don't understand the process?
Process? What process? You know what? If I'm going to go rent a tux, or Brian or Mark rented a tux for their prom, we go into Men's Warehouse. We'll spend a few extra bucks because it's the prom. We spend 15 or 20 minutes extra to pick out something nice. Boom, done. One day. This seems like it's going on for a week.
Well, it sort of is. You have no idea what it's like. You have to go in, and there are choices. You have to pick your color, your designer, your
price.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh,
I forgot about that.
Oh, yes. The price.
Well, that varies. So there are a lot of things to consider, and this is why it is a time-consuming situation.
And I really didn't realize that we were so late on this. I know that there's Instagram pages and websites where the girls are posting pictures that this is mine.
Oh, yes.
You can't have it. If you show up with this dress, I own it.
So true.
Did you share knowledge of your dress when you were going to your prom?
Not like this, obviously. We didn't have all this social media stuff, which was a good thing, I think. We talked about our dresses, though, and we told our friends about it so that they wouldn't copy us, but it was nothing like it is today, that's for sure.
I guess maybe that I'm not giving an endorsement to the prom because I had a bad experience at prom. My date went home with another guy. So it's a true story. So
shocker.
So this whole
how come
that's a whole different story.
Oh, come on, tell.
No, there's nothing to tell. All right. So you say there's a process. Where are we in the process? Step 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are we?
I'd say we're in the middle of the process. We have to go back again tomorrow to keep looking and trying on and fitting and measuring. And it's a whole ordeal.
Do you remember your prom dress? Come on. You can't possibly remember.
Of course I do. Wasn't that long ago.
I don't remember the tux I wore to my prom, but I mean, I guess it's not so notable for guys, but for girls, I guess it really is.
I think you had some sort of ruffled shirt thing going on.
No, I'm not that old. When we were first getting married, I went with you and your mom to pick out the flowers and the invitations. Nowadays, when you and Allison are going prom dress shopping, this is something I really don't feel like I want to be a part of. I think this is a mom-daughter special moment.
Well, that's good because we don't want you involved anyway.
Thanks a lot. But it brings me back to the first thing we started talking about was price. I mean, the price of some of these dresses is a car payment. Some of them are a mortgage payment. I have a mortgage payment. There it is. She's going to wear it once. But you know what? The mortgage payment at least gets us 31 days in the house.
Yeah, but you don't understand. This is one of the best, most special moments in a young lady's life.
So let's break the bank. What do you say?
Well, I think within reason, you can find the perfect dress. Like I said, it has to go back to the color and the fit and the style and the maker and then the price.
Wait. I noticed how you draw. Oh, the price is on the bottom. It's funny how guys see it differently. Price is at the top, dress is at the bottom.
Well,
what? I'm trying to come to terms with this, and what I think we want to ask is, how involved should Dad be when it comes to the prom dress selection? Remember what I said, price.
I vote you should not be involved at all.
Of course you did. You could comment on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. So, since it's the weekend, maybe you have some plans to go out to dinner. Hope you do. And generally, wherever you go, there's usually a wine list that's put down on the table along with your menu. And I have to admit one thing, and most people probably wouldn't admit this, that I know zippo nada about wine. The only thing I do know is I don't like it sweet. And I have vivid memories when I used to go to my aunt's house for Sunday Italian dinner of my grandfather sitting at the head of the table with a giant glass jug of Gallo wine down by his feet. And every time he needed a refill, he'd stretch over and uncork it and fill up his glass, and then it would go right back down to its resting spot. Me, though, I've really never taken an interest. And somehow, when we go out to dinner, just my wife and myself, or my wife and myself and my kids, the server always instinctively knows to hand it to my wife. It's like they know by looking at me that I know nothing about it. And I don't. It just saves a step by saying, oh no, she'll take it. I mean, I'm pretty much a beer guy, and the wine stuff just gets a little confusing for me. You got your Pinot Noir, your Sauvignons, your Merlots, your Zinfandels, your Blancs, Chardonnays, Rieslings, oaky, non-oaky, sweet. Way too much information for me to remember. If the server asks what kind of wine you like, I'd just say, just have a glass of red. But my wife is like speaking another language to the server. And as she's making her selection, I just sit there and nod confidently as if to agree. But reading a wine list, and some of them are this thick, is like reading another language. We were at Walt Disney World one year, and we were dining at the Italian restaurant, in Epcot. And I thought it would be a sin if I ordered a Bud Light at an Italian restaurant. So when the server asked for our drink order, I thought of my grandfather. I had that image of him sitting at the head of the table with that giant jug of Gallo wine. I think it was Chianti. So I thought, I'll have a glass of Chianti. Because really, that's all I know. Then the question started. Which type of Chianti? And I was like, I don't know. I'll just take whatever, the best Chianti you have on hand. And that's exactly what I said, to which my wife stopped the conversation. Whoa, hold on. I said, well, what? What do you mean? I mean, this is Disney World, Mickey Mouse. How expensive could it possibly be? So after finding out the price, it really wasn't that expensive, but I understand where my wife was coming from. Because after doing a little research, some of the most expensive wines have been sold in the USA for over $6,000 a bottle. But I didn't know what I was talking about. It's a glass of wine. I really feel like I'm in the minority when it comes to knowing about wine, especially if you're in a group setting when you go to a restaurant and people are talking about what wine they want to order with the meal, what goes good with whatever meal you're having. I pretty much rarely sit in silence, but when they're talking about wine, my lips are sealed. And I wonder how many other people listening to Breakfast with Mark Daniels today are wine challenged. You can comment on Facebook or Instagram. Here's comedian Michael McIntyre on ordering wine in a restaurant.
Everyone pretends to be experts in wine. We've all got this we all just take part in this weird lie that we're all connoisseurs in wine. A lot of people drink and like wine, but let's be honest, at least 90% of us are not experts in the field of wine. Nobody at the table knows anything about wine. The waiter himself, he knows nothing about wine. We know red colour and white colour. That's all you know. But you all pretend you know a great deal more. Would you like to see the wine list? He might as well be saying, would you like the book of gibberish? Yes, I would. Let me pretend I'm looking at that. Ignore all the words and focus entirely on the prices. Let's see that.
That'll do it for this episode and this week. Breakfast with Mark Daniels. And thank you for listening. Breakfast with Mark Daniels is available on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Alexa, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Buzzsprout.com. Just search Breakfast with Mark Daniels. We'd love to help grow your business. Advertise with us on Breakfast with Mark Daniels. Send me an email to breakfastwithmarkdaniels@gmail.com. Please share, like, and comment. That helps us grow as well. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday morning for Breakfast with Mark Daniels.